We discussed earlier regarding the item that will be included in the supply as per section 7.1 of CGST Act 2017 and the item that are not to be included under supply under section 7.2 of CGST Act 2017. And as per section 7 subsection 2 of CGST Act 2017, read with schedule 3, we know that if employee provided service to the employer in the course of the employment, then it will not form part of supply and there will be no GST. Here, service provided by the employer, by the employee to the employer, if it is in the course of employment and it is provided on regular basis, there will be no GST. If service is provided by the employee to the employer in the regular course of employment on contract basis and the appointment is made by the employer, then it will also not covered under GST. That means for that payment there will be no GST. But if the service is provided by the employee to the employer on contract basis and the appointment is not given by the employer, it is employed by a contractor, appointment is provided by a contractor, then against such payment, for such payment there will be GST. GST will be there if the service is provided by the employee to the employer on contractual basis when that appointment is given by a contractor. However, whenever the service is provided by the employee to the employer in the course of employment on regular basis, then it will not attract GST. If the service is provided by the employee to the employer on contractual basis and the appointment is given by the employer, then also it will not cover under GST. GST will not to pay on such amount that is to be paid by the employer to the employee. But whenever the service is provided by the employee to the employer on in the course of employment but on contractual basis, and that contract is provided by any third person, appointment is provided by third person, then such consideration is leviable for GST. And on the other hand, if the service is provided by the employee to the employer not in the ordinary course of employment, then GST will be there. And in that circumstances, employee and employer are to be taken as distinct person. Now, here the question is that program has received a sum of rupees 5 lakh from his employer on permanent termination of his contract of employment. Program need advice as to whether such receipts are liable to GST. Since the amount is received against permanent termination, so it is directly associated with the agreement of employment. That means here, against providing service in the ordinary, in the course of employment, employee receive payment of rupees 5 lakh for the termination of his work, and since it is received in the course of employment as per section 7 subsection 2A of CGST Act 2017, supply, we know that supply exclude services provided by the employer, by the employee to the employer in the course of employment It is covered under Schedule 3 of CGST Act 2017, and on that account, here the amount of rupees 5 lakh is not leviable for GST. Next question is that Mr. Raju, an employee, provide his services on contract basis to an associate company of Vikram Enterprise, the employer. The above activity is being carried out in lieu of specific monetary consideration. Is it supply? Yes, it will obviously be treated as supply, because here the services does not provided directly to the services does not provided directly to the employer. The service is not provided in the course of employment also. Here the service is provided not in the course of employment to the associate of the employer, and against such services employee receives some sort of money as consideration. So here, since the service is not provided in the course of employment, it is liable for GST. Now, the next question is that salary paid to the partner by the partnership firm is liable for GST. We know that in case of partnership business, partners are receiving salary from the firm. Now, whether such salary are leviable for GST, it will not leviable for GST because it is just appropriation of profit. Partner salary is to be taken as appropriation of profit. Since it is the appropriation of profit, there will be no GST. Now the question is whether all director, including the managing director, is an employee of the company. Here the clarification is there. Managing director, for the managing director, contractual relationship of the masters and servant are not there. For the managing director, contractual relationship of master and servant are not there. So managing director is not the employee of the company. Since they are not being treated as employee of the company, the consideration they are receiving from the company is to be leviable for GST. And who is liable for paying GST? Here the company, as the recipient of the services, is liable for paying GST under RCM. Now, in respect of whole-time director, there exists a contractual relationship between master and servant. Since he is a whole-time director, so he is to be treated as the employee of the company. And since he is the employee of the company, the amount of the consideration, amount of the salary that is received by the whole-time director from the company is not leviable for GST. In respect of executive director, the same situation prevails, because for executive director there exists contractual relationship of master and servant, because the executive director are also to be treated as employee of the company, and whenever he will receive any consideration from the company, that will be treated as salary on which no GST will be there. But in respect of non-executive director and independent director, that means nominee director, they are not the employee of the company. There is no direct relationship, contractual relationship of master and servant persists there. They are not the permanent employee of the company. Since they are not the employee of the company, the consideration that is received by them from the company are not to be taken as salary, and the amount of consideration that are given by the company to the non-executive directors or to the independent directors are leviable for GST, on which GST is to be paid by the company on reverse charge mechanism.